I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ market site, a new look and label for one of America's best-known teen retailers.
I'm Patricia Wu at the New York Stock Exchange. The Russell 2000 up 2% in October. Will that be a tough act to follow?
I'm Remy Blair in San Francisco. Gaming is big business. See why the latest merger deal is boosting the mobile gaming names. And is relief on the horizon for eczema sufferers? Or is it about to get red for one small cap pharma?
Good afternoon and welcome to Small Cap Nation. I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ market site in Times Square. American Eagle Outfitters same-store sales climbed 9%. That was good enough for the teen retailer to raise its earnings forecast for the entire year. Now, teen retailers like American Eagle have faced tough competition from the fast fashion retailers, including Forever 21 and H&M. And in fact, American Eagle set to acquire the high-end menswear label Todd Snyder for $11 million in cash and stock, shifting away from the fast fashion wars. The acquisition includes Todd Snyder's Tailgate brand, a vintage collegiate sportswear line. American Eagle hopes to open as many as 200 Tailgate stores at universities nationwide, starting with the Southeastern Conference and Big Ten colleges, and then selling American Eagle jeans alongside Tailgate's retro tees. Well, Texas Roadhouse looks to beef up its profit. The restaurant chain has seen plenty of ups and downs in recent quarters as it tries to turn its solid potential into faster growth. Now, the company's results didn't give investors everything they had hoped to see, but the steakhouse chain wants to open more stores and take advantage of food cost deflation. Office Depot, primed to merge with rival Staples, saw higher operating income on weaker overall sales for its third quarter, but the office supply retailer, which employs about 1,000 at its headquarters in Boca Raton, Florida, said its same-store sales increased by 3%. It was driven by reduced costs due to store closures and related expenses, including payroll. The chief executive, Roland Smith, said the results were strong despite the continued disruption related to the pending acquisition by Staples. Smith said the companies now hope to close the merger by early 2016, if not by the end of this year. Well, earnings season is hitting its stride and lots of small cap stocks reporting today. So here's a rundown. Integra Life Sciences net income of 15%. Northern Tier Energy missed estimates. Retail Me Not missed on profit, but sales are looking better. Taser beat on revenue, but missed earnings. Columbia Pipeline Partners posted solid results. AMAG Pharmaceuticals missed expectations. Bloomin' Brands swung to a profit. Cobalt Energy reported a net loss. Frank's International missed estimates. Medicines saw revenue decline. NationStar revenue dropped to $32 million. Targa Resources earnings declined. Air Castle is increasing its dividend. Oxif Capital's profits were lower, but it did meet estimates. Rowan saw a 17% increase in earnings. Vishay Intertechnology's net revenue decreased. Kennametal sales down from a year ago. Elite increased its full-year guidance. Red Robin Gourmet Burgers had better than expected results. New Star Energy topped estimates. Cognate's revenue fell below forecast. Luminix raised its full-year outlook, and Nautilus beat expectations. Qualys cut its yearly view as earnings missed estimates. Rudolph Technologies revenue beat estimates. Axial beat expectations. Okay, gaming company Zynga will report earnings later today. It's been a tough few years for Zynga after soaring as its games Farmville and Cityville became extremely popular on Facebook. It crashed down to earth, but last quarter it delivered a positive earnings surprise. Zynga is well positioned to benefit from the strong mobile game market. According to research reports, 2015 industry revenues from mobile games are expected to grow 16% year over year to reach $3 billion. Remy Blair will have more on small cap gaming companies later in the show from San Francisco. Now, other small cap companies in the news today. Ardmore Shipping will be selling 4 million more shares to the public. Collegium Pharmaceuticals saw its lockup on shares expire. Tallgrass Energy also saw its share lockup expire. Nice rally for the Russell 2000 in October. Patricia Wu is at the New York Stock Exchange. Where are we headed, Patricia?
Hi, Jane. That is the $64,000 question, and we've got Alan Valdez here to give us a little bit of insight on that. So the Russell 2000 up 2% in October. How tough an act is that to follow?
It's going to be pretty tough. Remember, we're down on the year for the Russell, but we had a great October, as did the Dow and the S&P 500. So things are looking good for the end of the year. It's still based on that Fed. The thinking here now is the Fed even though they're talking about raising, is really not going to raise. They back themselves into a corner, so the place to be is in equities. I mean, where else are you going to get these kind of returns? So we think that you're going to see a pretty strong November, and then December, again, the Feds meet in December. That'll be back and forth, but the guessing here is that, of course, they don't raise. They back themselves in the corner. They can't do it.
I guess we'll have more insight when we get that big jobs number on Friday.
Well, you bring up a good point. That jobs number is going to be critical. If you see jobs over 200, then, maybe the Feds might do something, but we've been trending under 200. 150 last month, basically, 130 the month before. So they're coming in, not going up. So basically, that jobs number is very important on Friday.
And are there any particular sectors or stocks you like in small caps or that you're keeping an eye on?
We keep an eye on the domestic ones, obviously, but mainly the consumer-driven ones. Because right now, you got the holidays coming, so you're going to see a lot of people out there shopping. I mean, consumer spending always picks up in November, as a rule, and leading up to the holiday season. So I think you'll see that continue. And believe it or not, I think you'll see, even though they're not small cap, I think you'll see a lot into autos, which small caps feeds, whether it's the leather seating or the tubes, or the transmissions for radios, or the wiper blades. So you do see a lot of small caps in every auto produced. So I think you'll see that market tick up also.
Thank you so much, Alan. So we may see that Santa Claus rally after all. Stay tuned.
Straight ahead, we take you to San Francisco, where Remy Blair has the rundown on several biotech stocks. Results of their clinical trials are released. What this means for investors when Small Cap Nation returns.
Guys, I got the jerseys. El Nino. Aquí. Spray Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Don Ovan.
Think that's me?
You guy. It's $40. Can you cover that?
I'll send it to you right now. Done.
Okay, got it. So Hat-Trick Rick, he's the best player on our team. You get the ball, you give it to him.
Great. Rick.
On your phone, online, on the go, Wells Fargo makes it easy to get banking done.
All right, Don, you're on. Nope, just kidding.
Doug, you've been staring at that for a while, huh? Listen, TD Ameritrade has former floor traders to help walk you through that complex trade, so you'll be confident enough to do what you want. I'll pull up your number. Blammo. Let's get those guys on the horn. Ooh. Looks like it is time to upgrade your phone, Douglas.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Let's go, Serena. Fight. Come on, fight. Can't stop me now. Come on, Serena. Can't stop me now. You don't want me. Can't mess with this.
Back to the top. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoa, stop. Let's go back. 1, 2. Whoa, we're going to stop there. I bet we can do it even better.
It took tennis legend Serena Williams, fencing champion Tim Morehouse, and the world-famous Rockettes years to master their craft. But it took them only moments to master paying bills at Chase.com, depositing checks at Chase ATMs, and transferring funds on the mobile app. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
It's a busy day for Big Pharma. The large cap names are making announcements and inking agreements. What are the strategic partnerships that are making headlines?
Hi Jane, the mega pharma names with deep pockets are not slacking. Sanofi and Germany-based Biotech entered into a multi-year exclusive collaboration and license agreement. The two companies will develop up to 5 cancer immunotherapies, each consisting of a mixture of synthetic messenger RNAs, also known as mRNAs. And separately, Pfizer partnered with South Africa's Biovac Institute to produce a potentially life-saving pneumonia vaccine for infants. Meanwhile, the GlaxoSmithKline says it has the potential to file up to 20 new drugs for approval before 2020. It is trying to revitalize its portfolio after getting hit by falling sales of its best-selling inhaled lung treatment, Advair.
In the small cap space, two NASDAQ-listed companies have mixed news for their respective treatment candidates for atopic dermatitis. What are Anacor and Equinox trading in opposite directions?
Well, things are getting a bit itchy for Equinox. Shares of the company are seeing red, down by nearly 7% on Tuesday. In the previous session, the company announced that its phase 2 kinship clinical trial failed to demonstrate efficacy in patients with mild to moderate atopic dermatitis. That is the medical term for eczema. Now, patients treated with the oral 200 milligram once daily AQX 1125 compared to a placebo did not meet the primary endpoint of improvement after 12 weeks of treatment. Now, David Main, the president and CEO at Equinox, says, "We believe that kinship was well conducted and the results do not warrant continued development for this indication. Our focus will continue to be on the further development of AQX 1125 in bladder pain syndrome as well as interstitial cystitis." And the company is looking forward to their end of phase 2 meeting with the FDA scheduled for December 8, 2015 to discuss further pivotal trial designs. And moving on to Anacor Pharmaceuticals, the company got an initial boost higher after yesterday's rally. Today, the stock has been mixed after its higher open, and this does come on the heels of its earnings report. At the end of October, Anacor Pharmaceuticals announced top-line results from the long-term safety study of Crisaborole topical ointment 2%. Now, that is the company's novel non-steroidal topical anti-inflammatory. It is currently in development for the potential treatment of mild to moderate eczema in children and adults.
For the small cap pharma names, the drug pipeline is just as vital as the bottom line. It is earnings season, so what's the outlook for Anacor and Equinox?
Anacor reported earnings before the bell. The company reported 37 cents EPS for the previous quarter, missing the consensus estimate by 11 cents. The company had revenue of $24.6 million compared to the consensus estimate of $25.6 million. This company has been hit hard recently by the specialty pharmaceutical upheavals. Now, Anacor's first approved drug, Caritin, is an antifungal that's been approved by the FDA. In July 2014, Anacor entered into an exclusive agreement with Sandoz, a Novartis company. Besides Caritin and Crisaborole, Anacor has 3 investigational compounds that it has outlicensed for further development. Separately, Equinox Pharma is seeing a favorable earnings estimate revision activity, and that is good news. Equinox last announced its quarterly earnings on August 6th, and the company reported 44 cents EPS for the quarter. On average, analysts anticipate that Equinox Pharmaceuticals will post a $1.74 EPS for the current fiscal year. Equinox Pharma has been given a consensus recommendation of buy by the 7 ratings firms that are presently covering the stock.
Next, we check in on how small caps are doing in Europe. Graham Brown has the latest from Paris when Small Cap Nation continues.
Good. Very good. You see something moving off the shelves, and your first thought is to investigate the company. You are Type E. Yes, investment opportunities can be anywhere. Or not. But you know the difference.
E-Trade's barcode scanner. Shorten the distance between intuition and action. E-Trade. Opportunity is...
Before they sat down, one more time, just for themselves. Before the last grandchild graced the stage. Before Katie and her husband hit that rough patch. Before Kevin finally came home and the first grandchild arrived. Before the sons-in-law, daughters-in-law, and Brad's brief brush with the law. Before the second British invasion. Before Katie, Debbie, Kevin, and Brad. Before they became a family. There was a connection that started it all and made the future the wonderful thing it turned out to be. We know we're not the center of your life, but we'll do our best to help you connect to what is.
Sometimes the present looked bright, sometimes romantic. There were tears in my eyes, and tears in my eyes. And so many little things that we learned were really the biggest things. Through it all, we saved and had a retirement plan, and someone who listened and helped us along the way. Because we always knew that someday the future would be the present,
Every someday needs a plan. Talk with us about your retirement today.
Graham, how are the European markets looking today?
Well, European stocks, after a slightly positive start, have all drifted off now today, and none have really managed to maintain in positive territory. There's also much confusion among UK analysts following the big jump we talked about yesterday in production figures, but at the same time construction figures are slightly down, which was what is expected. So more fodder really for the Bank of England Monetary Committee meeting on Thursday, and all expectations really are it's still going to be more dovish than hawkish, but we'll have to wait and see. European figures on inflation and growth came in pretty well flat as expected. We have Mario Draghi making 3 speeches this week, so you can guess it's going to be another listening and an analytical exercise for people to try and work out what's going to happen next. The ECB published a paper, let me just check, non-standard monetary policy measures today, which declared that the positive easing program is having the desired effects on bank lending, although there is some dispute among that elsewhere. Quotes, there have been some good news in the Eurozone, with unemployment falling to a 3-year low, inflation even managing to rise, a fact that will give Mario Draghi pause for breath, said Chris Beauchamp, a senior market analyst. He has probably saved the Eurozone from depression, but the full-blown economic recovery he's looking for is yet to arrive, and that certainly seems to be the case. It's just more of the same without any great news one way or the other. So expect more of the same in the markets, essentially.
Well, Graham, what do you have for us today?
Well, Jane, before that, I'm sure some of your viewers would have noticed, if they've been watching any of the BBC programmes, or BBC politicians, or English politicians, British politicians I should say, on foreign news programmes, that these poppies are being worn widely. I don't have a jacket, so I can't actually pop mine in my lapel. Do you know why?
I'm not exactly sure. Why is that?
Well, it's for Remembrance Day on the 11th of November, the end of the First World War in 1918. The poppy represents the poppy fields of Flanders, where so many people were slaughtered, and are worn to remember all the casualties now of conflicts over the year. Since 1919, these have been made, and still are, by disabled ex-service personnel, and are sold to raise money for their charities. Although as an ex-serviceman myself, I always felt that casualties of fighting for their country really shouldn't have to rely on charity. But to move on, Jane, I'd like to look today at a Swedish small going to mid-cap, which is traded on the Stockholm Nasdaq, and which has just made a major acquisition in the US. Securitas, a global leader in security everywhere from very small stores to airports, and has some 320,000 employees globally. Securitas is a leader in the field of security and offers a broad range of services, from specialized guarding and mobile services to monitoring, to technology, consulting and investigation, so the whole range. Its core business is focused, and always has been, on protective service and customized solutions with the right balance of on-site, mobile and technology solutions for its clients. And they also develop new protective services that deliver added value for customers. Security solutions and technologies such as remote video are becoming increasingly important component of the security industry. And as part of this strategy, they are making significant investments in this area, hence the purchase of Diebold, electronic security business in North America, which includes a full portfolio of intrusion, fire, video access and similar systems and services, as well as monitoring, maintenance and other services for commercial and financial markets. Also, the two companies have agreed a strategic business alliance in which Securitas will serve as Diabol's preferred supplier for those electronic solutions in North America. This should enable them to improve the quality and reach of their service and move them up the value chain. So, a company to watch in the future.
It's addicting. You see people playing it everywhere. Now the makers of Candy Crush are cashing in big time. Details of the billion-dollar deal and what it means for two small cap companies when Small Cap Nation returns.
Everyone works hard for a reason. Working together, we can help you prepare financially for when 2 becomes 3. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
You want to be the best investor you can be. You want to cut through the noise of an overwhelming amount of analysis. You want the insights that will help you decide which ideas to execute and which to leave behind. You want your trades executed in 1 second or less, guaranteed and routed with institutional quality technology. Look no further. Open an account and find more of the expertise you need to be a better investor.
When I got the phone call that we had received the grant, I held my breath.
To have a program like this is a big reward.
Being a Chase Mission Main Street grant recipient is a game changer.
One of the biggest surprises in starting a small business is the number of hours we should work for the first 20 years.
One of the great things about this grant is that it is going to let us invest in some additional inventories.
It's going to allow this business to go to the next level.
Being a recipient of this grant, we can't be thankful enough.
It's a dream come true, and I'm still in awe.
Well, things are heating up in the gaming space. Activision Blizzard making a bold move into mobile with its acquisition of King Digital. The multi-billion-dollar deal pushing shares of gaming companies higher. Is this a short-term reaction?
Activision is the owner of some of the biggest franchises in gaming, most notably in the PC and console space. So its move to get strong in mobile doesn't come as a surprise. Late on Monday, Activision announced its plan to acquire the Dublin-based King Digital Entertainment for a stock and merger deal for $5.9 billion. The proposed purchase price represents a 20% premium over King's closing price on October 30th. King will continue to operate as an independent unit. And even if you've been living under a rock, the games Candy Crush Saga and Call of Duty, or even World of Warcraft are somewhat familiar. Activision is late to the mobile gaming space, so its acquisition brings veteran mobile gaming experts on board. Small cap names in gaming, including Blue Mobile and Zynga, are up by about 4% today. The latest deal emphasizes the importance of mobile in the industry, so that is undoubtedly good news for the small cap names, but it also raises the question about potential buyouts. Remember, Zynga will report its third quarter financial results on Tuesday after the market closes.
Mobile gaming is a different animal from traditional gaming. When you take a look at the figures for the category, active users, dollars spent, what is the takeaway?
It's all about positioning. Some games do better in mobile, while others are meant for hardcore gamers who hunker down for a spell. Now, according to the NPD Group, mobile games accounted for 19% of total spending on video game software. And for a big player like Activision, it's important. Most of its franchises do not have a mobile presence here in the US. So if you take a look at monthly active users, it all comes down to numbers. King Digital said it had 474 million monthly active users in the third quarter of this year. And compare that to Activision, who reported that its MAUs are up 35% year over year. But it's also about conversion and how to get players to become paying customers. As for King Digital's original Candy Crush Saga, that does remain the 4th highest grossing game in Apple's App Store, and that does come 3 years after its release. Meanwhile, its follow-up Candy Crush Soda has not been as successful and takes the number 6 title 1 year after its release.
The bigger names in tech know how hot the space is, so it's not surprising that buyouts and partnerships are common in mobile. Is this the future for gaming?
Well, when it comes to individual gaming companies, the Zyngas, King Digitals, and the Glue Mobiles of the world, it's always about performance. Share prices take a hit when these smaller names can't produce huge hits. And when it comes to the big tech companies, they know that strategy is key. If we take a look at those big names, Amazon spent $1.1 billion for game streaming site Twitch last August. Meanwhile, Facebook paid $2 billion for Oculus in March of 2014, and Disney scooped up the Lucasfilm and the Star Wars franchise at $4.05 billion back in 2012. Activision itself has partnered with Tencent to bring some franchises to mobile in emerging territories. Now, the company recently announced plans to launch its own esports division. So the bigger names are beginning to diversify their media strategy and are well aware that it's all about distribution. Mobile will outpace growth compared to other formats.
One energy company bucks the trend and increases profit despite lower oil prices. Jane King has more in our Buy, Sell, Hold segment when Small Cap Nation comes right back.
Guys, I got the jerseys. El Nino. Aquí. Spray Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Don Ovan.
Think that's me?
You guy. It's $40. Can you cover that?
I'll send it to you right now. Done.
Okay, got it. So hat-trick Rick, he's the best player on our team. You get the ball, you give it to him.
Great. Rick.
On your phone, online, on the go, Wells Fargo makes it easy to get banking done.
All right, Don, you're on. Nope, just kidding.
Doug, you've been staring at that for a while, huh? Listen, TD Ameritrade has former floor traders to help walk you through that complex trade, so you'll be confident enough to do what you want. I'll pull up their number. Blammo. Let's get those guys on the horn. Ooh. Looks like it is time to upgrade your phone, Douglas.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Let's go, Serena. Fight. Come on, fight. Come on, Serena.
Back to the top. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoa, stop. Let's go back. 1, 2. Whoa, we're going to stop there. I bet we can do it even better.
It took tennis legend Serena Williams, fencing champion Tim Morehouse, and the world-famous Rockettes years to master their craft. But it took them only moments to master paying bills at Chase.com, depositing checks at Chase ATMs, and transferring funds on the mobile app. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
In buy, sell, hold actions today, AccuRide was cut to neutral at B. Riley. Culp rated a new hold at Cantor Fitzgerald. Diamond Offshore was raised to hold at Evercore. Hanmi Financial cut to outperform at Raymond James. And Kirby was cut to hold at Morningstar. Also, Western Refining cut to hold at Morningstar as well. Thanks for joining us on Small Cap Nation, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, check back for the latest news and research on smallcapnation.com, Facebook, and Twitter.